So I'm not even surprised. I think it's a smart move for the side of
Yeah,
Omega.
it's historically Claude has been a pick for execution before. They know. Their members know how to play this hero very, very well.
But there is the 1-1 though.
There's still a 1-1 available, and that's something
But
that
do you
cannot ban out anymore.
do you pick a 1-1 on a lane?
It's difficult. That's
Yeah.
difficult to do. Yeah.
So might as well, right? Because I mean, BMI is much easier for Claude to get. In terms of BMI, in terms of the escape mechanic, it's much easier for the Claude to actually get out farm's way.
Yeah, and it's decisions whether or not you want to push the double marksman, right? If you're execration, they're forcing. Basically, Omega's forcing execration. You want to go a double marksman, it's going to be a very inefficient marksman if you push it.
Will Toshi pick another mage side lane? Is this going to be another Toshi mage side lane?
It's a big possibility. Hayes can also use this hero very well on the support around the mid lane. So, yeah, it's still a coin toss, my friends. Still a coin toss, and again, flexibility of Omega really showing up in this match.
And as you can see, the hair of execration here, they all have color and they go for the 1-1.
They force it. They force
I
it.
mean, we just talked about this earlier. Do you pick a lane on a 1-1? Do you pick a 1-1 on a lane?
It's an inefficient 1-1.
It's an inefficient 1-1, but you know what? Execution, gutsy move. They went for it, and let's see what can they do with it.
Big priority here is it's difficult to 1-1 against a Baksha because of the passive. Reduced damage per hit means that even if you activate Crossbow of Tang against a Baksha, it barely does any scratches. Same happens if a Claude uses a Blazing Duet against a Baksha. Those minuscule micro hits, those mini hits, each of those hits are lessened by a set amount. That's why it's impossible to deal with a Baksha for if you're a marksman. Now, you do have other targets. They also have the target for this. Oh, that's a haze.
This is bad for the side of execration.
Oh boy.
This is bad for the side of execration. There is a lapse in terms of drafting here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man.
I'm pretty sure that this Natalia is going to give that 1-1 and Farsa a hard time.
Yeah, it's going to be hell playing as a Farsa era 1-1 in this matchup. Even the Roger might have a hard time just holding their lane together because he's going to be constantly harassed, constantly threatened by this lineup, and especially by that pick in the hands of Hayes of all people. That's a very big surprise pick coming out there for Omega, from Omega rather.
This is very interesting. There's this thing about Benny Cutie on that 1-1 where they are very much confident that he can do it. I mean, for a player that's the caliber of Benny Cutie, I think he's capable of pulling this off.
Absolutely.
But it's never going to be an easy task.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be an uphill climb for sure for execration in this matchup. But of course, the game is not set yet. It's not set in stone. We'll have to find out if they can execute it properly here on Game 3 of Execration versus Omega.
Remember, we had a 3-0 already. We had a 3-2 already. The only thing that we don't have is a 3-1.
That's right. 3-1.
And these teams with a 1-1, they aim to end this in a 3-1.
The 1-1's gonna break the 1-1.
Yeah, that's true. Probably. Who knows?
Nice, possible. Right, so here we go. Hayes gonna be a bit of a nuisance here on the top lane with a lot of pressure from Toshi on the Chang'e. And the intelligence game starts now. Look at that. A lot of vision for Omega.
Look at Hayes here. He's just trying to find a way to get Chaknu out of the lane.
Yeah.
And Chaknu here will be forced to get out. And he does have the mask.
So early, by the way. That's a very early push by Hayes to push out that Akai, who will be level 2 still. Still something good going on here to that side, but look at that. The pokes are coming in. He's able to dodge a 1,000-pounder, no surprise. Could have been a big stun, could have been a lot of damage if he absorbed it, but it's not going to be the case here.
To be honest, Rockhart, I'm just seeing right now Chaknu. He's playing this in a way where Natalia could reach him so that the mana can get used up.
Yeah, he's forcing out.
He's forcing a lot of these situations where Natalia will have to use it on him.
Seems to be very happy as well. Going into the back foot, that's Hajizi close by. They could pull something off here if they were confident enough, but it looks like they're gonna leave it up to, they're not gonna leave it up to chance. They will go for slow instead.
Okay, Haji stopping that stopped looking at his prey up top. He really wanted Benecutie there, and right now this Ling is really aiming for Benecutie. He wants to take down that hero. Tempest of Blades, it will connect, has the Aegis, will go down.
Yeah, Aegis not gonna be able to stop it right there. A2 Max as well. With a feathered airstrike for Heath, he's put in a very bad position, but with the help of Meteor Shower, pushes E2 Max out of that feathered airstrike pose. Now Hate's gonna be the one being dove in by Omega, and they will just threaten the mid lane for the meantime.
But Chakno here getting a free lane, that's good.
Yeah.
At least you get your level 4. And Chakno not really trying to, push his wave out. He wants Benecutie to get the remaining minions because, he might have lost one, but if he can get 2, that's minimal losses at this point.
That's just optimizing here at this point.
Yeah, min-maxing.
Maxing. You know what? From October 27th to November 13th, just log into the game. The Trickster's Village event is going on for Mobile Legends. Get those Halloween candies. Get a chance to win the Trickster special skin later on.
Ooh.
Check it out after this game. Not during the game, okay? After.
After the game.
You log in after the game.
Hazier being very aggressive and cautious at the same time. He's not really trying to go for those kills because some Natalia players would just die for that kill.
Absolutely. I like the discipline coming in from Hayes to not offer too much of a chance for Execration, then forcing them maybe later on in the coming fights might be better. But now Execration, they're aware of this. Chakta was in the bush. He saw Heath going in there. He knows where you are. What are you hiding? And that can allow Execration a safe exit from that potential possible fight.
For the side of Execration, things are still looking great for them. No turrets are going down. Omega not getting the same momentum as the early game. I might have spoke too soon
way
there.
too early,
I
my
might
friend.
have spoke too soon.
Yep, E2 Max, the tower is not going to be enough to save him with the pressure from Hayes. Top lane, Chaknu with the Hurricane Dance on Toshi. Perfectly positioned right there, but Haji is going to go get that revenge. Tempest of Blades, catch by the Aegis, but again, it's not going to be enough to stop Haji.
Okay, once Haji knew that the Hurricane Dance was used, he went straight for the top lane.
Yeah, no fear at all. He knew that no one was going to be able to stop him if he goes for the hunt, and it got the bearing, the results that they wanted.
Okay, and they got Toshi. At least Benecutie is getting the kills. Not really getting the kills, but, he got the assist. So that's something to be happy about.
Yep.
At this point.
And in 5 minutes in the game, you're kind of still close. That's what Execration wants. They don't need to win right away, right off the bat. Just need to keep it close. Like I said before, it is a win condition for Execration to go for the late game.
Haji, though, he is using these buffs in a very efficient manner. He's getting a lot of the spells out. He's here trying to scout out whatever it is that is needed to be scouted out on those brushes. And Chaknu is a primary target. He goes down. Benecutie could have caught that, but he's not going to be forced to do so.
Picture perfect there. And Turtle going to be taken to very, very low HP. Jumped in and stolen by E2 Max. Nice feathered airstrike into the dive for Omega, and that's a lot of effort being expounded to help Execration get a turtle. Didn't go to Hate, but he went to the next best guy.
And Benecutie has the corrosion sight. Benecutie has a corrosion sight, and that's 6 minutes in.
That's pretty big.
That's big. He gets the damage. He gets the slow. That's nice. He gets a mechanic that he wants to, and he will get the weakness stacks faster.
Yeah, despite dying a lot in that lane, being dove in consistently by Omega, a lot of pressure being given to him by the enemy, he's still able to get an item. That is a sign of progress for Execration. And now Omega just trying to see if they can keep that lead going. Hajizi is still very mobile. He is being given double buffs all the time. The buffs of Execration are actually a little bit threatened now because of the positioning. But they're not going to be giving away to anything anytime.
And they put Benny onto the bottom lane. And they just want Benny to get as much items as possible here. Meteor Shower used at the bottom lane. Haze and Heath are here as well. This is somewhat a way for Omega to just not let Benny farm as much.
Yeah, that's true. Again, let's let Benny go ahead and be chill, not die. That's the point. Itomax, though, with cancel tether airstrike, less ability to fight.
Itomax really likes that. Itomax really likes to pull his trigger on that feathered airstrike.
Even without anyone else.
Even without anyone
backup,
else.
Right?
Even if there's someone in front of him, he will just press that feathered airstrike.
And another one. Haze in the wrong place at the wrong time. Behind on the Kai. Will get taken down. And, oh my gosh. Seriously, that bottom lane tower is getting all of the beating. In Execration, they're positioning very, very well. Trying to take a lot of the objectives at the same time. Like right now, though, jump in by Hate will be securing that turtle and another kill possibly, but again, Glycan Pounce was on cooldown, means that Hajizi will be able to get out.
Now, Haji doesn't really have an idea what to do. Hate has been getting, well, not really Hate, but Execution has been getting 2 out of 3 of his turtles.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. I mean, if you have an early game oriented setup and you just want to win from there, then you should be getting these turtles. But for the side of Execution, they might have a marksman, but they have more success in terms of just getting these objectives on their side.
That's true. A lane without a turtle means it's gonna be stuck to farming because you can't be proactive. You don't have a shield, you don't have the bonus damage, and you also have a marksman on the a carry on the enemy team that will be able to burst you down. So you always have to be careful, which means you're being forced to go into jungle mode.
And as you can see here, wherever the 1-1 is, wherever the turtle is, or wherever the big objective is, may it be a lord, may it be a turtle, 1-1 almost always certainly goes to the other side. And what does that mean?
Yeah, that just means the Execration wants this 1-1 to really, really not die. You know, push him away far from the action and let him farm off.
Yeah.
Speaking of action, Omega might be in for a treat here. Execration wants to push on mid.
Yeah, and looking at it, they will go to the middle lane. They know that the taps is there, so they will just go for that push. And right now, 20 seconds still, the Lord
On the hunt. Sagitnu is going to have that Dragonid form. Benny Cutie gets spotted out by Haze. But again, you're able to kite away very quickly because you have items already. That's the power of a 1-1.
And no push is going to happen to the middle lane as Shaknu here will be left to fend off for this turret. Onto the top lane, that is the only turret remaining here onto the side of Omega in terms of tier 1. Now, this is where the fun happens. How does Execration deal with this? I mean, in terms of the turrets onto the bottom lane, there is an open turret there that could be taken down in just a matter of pokes. Now,
oh boy,
think about it. One more hit could take it down. Chakna here with her King Dance, still tanky.
Very
Athena
tanky.
Shield. Athena Shield.
Yeah, that Athena Shield really helped keep him alive. And that's what you want. You want to be able to endure that meteor shower if you want to survive this game. And literally, even though Toshi is the only magic user here in this lineup, it works very well. It's a very good item pickup.
It is. Holy Crystal for Toshi. That will help them deal significant amount of damage still. But for the side of Execration, it is getting to critical levels onto their side.
Yeah,
not really critical levels, but favorable levels. Because it's almost nearing the late game.
Yep, and of course, Itomax is going to be the biggest target for Haze still. And he's on the hunt. Charges out, checks out Hajizi's low. Tempest of Blades used defensively to walk on out of there. And Chaknu locking down Kurt for a few moments. He's going to be the one who gets picked up as well.
Okay, so when the Tempest of Blades is being used as a defensive mechanic, it's most certainly a bad omen.
Sign. Yeah, bad sign, absolutely. We'll see the Execration actually will be forced back, and Lord is going to be in danger. Hajizi's already back in the field, and this could be bad. There's no one left here to get it for X.
Okay, they're just gonna let it be. And for Execration right now, they're thinking, there's only level 1 Lord.
Wait, do they want to reset it?
I don't know, maybe they're baiting it.
They look like they're baiting it.
Ah! That doesn't work though.
That doesn't work. I mean, it was
That
a nice
doesn't work.
try.
I mean,
but
they want to get it enhanced. So let me explain this a bit, Rockhart. They wanted to wait until 12 minutes into the game so that the Lord can be enhanced. But the thing
they
is,
don't know that.
it doesn't get enhanced when you don't reset the HP bar.
Very, very surprising. It needs to be fully reset after 12 minutes.
So I don't know if they fixed that already.
Well, we'll see. We'll
but
see.
the last time that Signal Ultra did it,
It wasn't. Yeah.
it didn't happen.
In the regular season.
So let's see if it will happen if Omega outplay themselves there.
Alright, let's see if the Lord's gonna jump. Alright,
Yeah,
if the Lord doesn't jump.
if the Lord stops, the Lord jumps, then that means that it's an empowered Lord.
And
but
no,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's a normal Lord.
It's a visual thing
Yeah.
that it's going to be an empowered Lord, but it doesn't really do that.
Yeah, no special skill, but that's not what they need. They just need someone at the front, apparently, and they will do the rest of the job. Omega will be able to take down this inhibitor turret. Not much of a defense from Chakno, only the Hurricane Dance. And the mid lane goes down as well by 8. And don't forget, Haji's on the bottom. It's a free lane push. They're not done. Sagito's low on the bot. They're split up, but they're able to hold at least mid and bot.
Now, okay, for the side of Execration, it is going to be a tipping point for them. I mean, they do have Benecutie on that side. Now, it's getting favorable for them that they can actually just win this because it's almost nearing late game. But for Benecutie and the others, now that their base has been penetrated here by the side of Omega, one lane doesn't have any more turrets to protect them. This is going to be a hard game to deal with. Why? There's a chance that the jungle on the side of Execration is going to be locked by Omega. And where do you get your farm? Do you get your farm from the creeps that will come up your lane? That's not really that productive in terms of just staying in your base.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically like a lot of gold going to Omega instead of it going to you. That's a big problem. You don't want that to happen. And now Omega, they're basically stuck on just defensive at this point. They just want to control the map. They want to maintain map control because they can't push anymore. They can't really do anything unless Hayes can make a critical pickoff or someone from Execration makes a big mistake.
And clearly they have this thing of finishing the game as early as 14 minutes. But now we are going to head into the first time for 3 games on this series that we will hit the 15-minute mark.
15-minute mark.
We hit the 15-minute mark.
Yep, very, very late into this game. This looks like the place that, Omega rather, wants to play in. And Toshi will be catching off Sagitno very low. That's a very, very low. Yu Jong will be forced to go back to the base. And Eric once again establishing Omega control of this area.
Let's see what these players can pull off right now. This is going to be extra scary for the side of Execration. Clearly, just having Omega with the right mindset of just waiting patiently for the next Lord, you can see that this team really wants to get the win in a very safe manner. Now, 10 seconds to the Lord. That is going to be the enhanced Lord. The first Lord wasn't enhanced. It did not go for the bump.
And again, that's what you want. You want to be able to get this Lord and finish off the game. Other than that, it's just control. Just make sure you don't make mistakes. You know, if you're Omega, just make sure no one gets picked off. And the split push can also happen. Because could be a 2v1, and it will be. Catches off Dragon form. Ito Max very close for the support with Feathered Airstrike. But looks like Sagitnu might be in for a treat. Takes down Haze. This, I was just saying it. I was just saying don't get picked off, and it happens.
And Chakdu uses the sprint, and that is going to be Natalia going down. So it's going to be a 4v5 situation for this Lord take. The only thing that's missing for the side of Execration is that Black Dragon form. Kurt could have been an easy target there if he gets hit by the Feathered Airstrike, but it doesn't. So thankfully for them, they will get away, or he will get away unscathed.
And still, that Black Dragon form, it's not that big of a deal. It cools down very quickly for a trade-off for an assassin. And that's not quits. Now we're gonna go.
Look at Ben here. He's just in front of everyone.
Yep, just wants to see if you can catch up. It's gonna be a big fight. Haji's on the back line. He's doing the job. He's not going for the Lord. He goes for the back line. Instead, Ito Max will be taken out. That's the focus. Benecuing's 1v1ing. But looks like GC will be the one on top. They don't need the Lord. They just want to fight.
And this is bad for the side of Execration. Remember when we guys told you that a 1-1 into a Ling isn't really the best thing to do?
Yep, that's why.
It's showing.
That's why we said it. That's even with the Lord. You know what? Go ahead, take the Lord, says Omega. We'll be able to clean up this game anyway because your marksman, your carry is out. That should be the big push that they need. Ignoring hate and a win for Omega. We're at match point.
They're at match point, ladies and gentlemen. As Rockhard said, it only takes one more win for Omega to secure this series and secure their spot in the grand finals. Now, for Execration, this is where the pressure kicks in.
After a long playoff, one game separates Omega from the finals. That's a scary feeling. That's a Man, that gave me chills. One more game. I mean, clearly both of these teams really want that spot, but sadly, it can only go to one team. Man, oh man, this is getting hot. Starting to get serious, man.
Execration needs to stop putting themselves in bad positions.
They had it.
1-1 on versus the Ling and the Natalia. It's not gonna work. Even if you take down the Natalia, there is a way that Haji can just go to the back lines. And you know what? The crossbow of Tang was actually not used against Ling just because when he uses it, when Benecuti is gonna use it, he's just gonna Tempest of Blades on the side of Ling, and the crossbow of Tang is negated.
And again, we've said it on the draft. It's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
So we'll go ahead and see what the panel's gonna have to say here for this matchup. Go ahead.
For this, my name is Wolf, your analyst, and let's talk about Game 3 of this best of 5 laglagan series ng Execration versus Omega. Looking at the draft, I want to say ang ginawa ng Execration, planado nila ang pagkuha sa 1-1. They know that Omega eventually ay pipick up yan ng backsha ng Thams. Binigay nila sa Omega, at ang kanilang sagot is to have the double core setup. Professional players actually prefer nila magkaroon ng Roger laban sa Ling in the late game. Tapos sasamahan nila ng isang marksman na 1-1. 1-1 is also a hero that professional players love against backshot Thams. Yung mga support, mga sustainable na side laners, kapag makunat nga naman sila, hindi free game yon para sa 1-1 basically speaking. Kaso may mga conditions. Kailangan buy time. Yan naman ang keyword para sa Execration, to buy the time. Kaya naman sila kumuha ng Farsa at pati na rin ng Akai. Yuzong is their way para meron silang panglaban sa early stages of the game. At makikita natin mamaya sa highlights kung paano nga ba in-achieve yun ng Execration. Para sa Omega naman, real quick, I love the fact na nag-last pick sila ng Natalia. Kasi ito nga naman talaga yung pipiliin mo na hero para hindi makapag-farm yung mga double core setup dahil sa kanyang invade potential. Maybe we can see in the post-game stats, post-match data, hindi nga tayo umabot ng 18 minutes. 17:58 bago pa din tapusin, 18 minutes. I mean, Omega was also banking on Toshi on the Chango. Nakita niyo yung hero damage niya? Ito yung way ng Omega para hindi pag-farmin yung execration. Toshi even using this para hindi pumatay. Pang zone out lang kasabay ng Lord, for example, ng unang Lord push ng Omega. Tapos Hajizi, of course, the machine. The KDA machine. Si Hajizi, dahil sa kanya, maganda ang naging resulta para sa Omega. And we will see that later. Now, if we're gonna be looking at the highlights, isa sa mga una nating makikita dito is yung First Blood dahil makikita natin ang priority ng Omega. We did say earlier, di ba, sinabi natin na ang condition para sa execution ay makafarm si Benny Cutie on this 1-1. And actually, ginagawa naman nila yung mga tamang gagawin mo kapag gusto mo makapag-farm, yung iyong side lane na 1-1. Manggulo sa ibang part ng mapa yung iba mong mga members, as you can see here in the bottom lane, that's Yu Zhong as well as Roger. Tapos si Chakno, babantayan lang niya si 1-1 para makapag-farm at makapag-buy time. Also notice the positioning of the Farsa, it's there. However, Omega, sinetapan nga nila yung First Blood na ipe-pressure nila sa tamang pagkakataon ang members ng Execration. That's when handa na nga silang lumaban. So, with 3 members here up top, walang makapag-survive. Kahit may Aegis, and syempre meron kasing Tempest of Blades na pwede ka talagang mang-dive. And it will happen once again after 2 minutes, di ba? Or less than 2 minutes, ginamit ulit nila yung Tempest of Blades para mag-dive and 1-1 is out. Toshi, yung paggamit niya ng ultimate dito to really just put down the members of Execration and then nagkaroon na nga ng farming battle. Actually, Execration, nung mid-game, tama yung ginagawa talaga nila eh. You would say, makikita mo sa nila na hindi sila nag-hard engage. Kumukuha lang sila ng mga pick-offs, nilalabanan lang nila, at tinatry lang nila talaga na mag-survive against Omega. So, tama naman yung way nila para ma-prolong yung game. And they're on a good trajectory. However, this play happened at i-credit talaga natin kay The Machine, Hajizi, ang mangyayaring laban. So, Lord Bush, look at the positioning of Hajizi. Perfect. No way for execration para makita siya. At bukod dyan, yung mga tropa niya sa Omega, naghanap na ng gulo dun sa Lord area. As you can see right now. At, di ba, ang pinag-usapan natin, ang condition sa execration ay makapag-defend. And what are the tools to defend? Farsa, as well as 1-1. Nakita na ni Hajizi, The Machine, sabi niya, meron na akong free pass dito. Ginamit na yung ultimate ni sa gitno. Ginamit na yung nandun sa gitna yung Akai at wala siyang magagawa para makapag-depensa. So, in all totality, sabi ni Hajizi, naisip ni Hajizi, pwede ko nang i-go. And that's exactly what he will do right now, going for the Farsa first dahil kaya niya patayin yun na mabilis. At kahit napunta yung Lord sa execration, wala silang nagawa. Ang ganda nung laban, actually, ni Hajizi versus Benny Cutie dito, but the fact that there's no ultimate at wala na ring stock at tama yung timing, ni Hajizi, The Machine, the KDA machine, ay nanalo nga yung Omega dun sa fight na yun. I mean, we can say na napunta sa side ng execration yung Lord, but that didn't matter dahil hinard push na lang sila ng Omega, and this is your MVP of the game. My goodness, all of a sudden ang Omega na ngayon ay nasa match point, and with this 2-1 na victory over execration, baka naman kabahan talaga execration. But then again, execration has been in this part before. But if you want to support Omega, well, we do have QR codes for all of you para matulungan at suportahan nga naman ang hashtag Omega nun, if I pronounce that correctly. Yeah, then again, for execration, they have been in this spot before. Nakita na natin sila na nag-force ng Game 5 nung mga maraming beses na before para mag-reverse sweep. And if you want to support this team, just scan this QR code. We also like to ask for your support naman sa Mobile Legends by scanning this QR code as well or going to the link ng fb.com/mplph.official. And I'm sure that we also want to know what you think about the MPL and Mobile Legends so far. And all you have to do is to fill in the surveys na makikita nyo sa inyong mga screen. Makakatulong po ng malaki ang inyong mga feedback dito sa amin. But then again, here we are in the match point analysis for execration. And habang hinihintay natin yan, gusto ko lang encourage kayo lahat na manood. Mag-stay with us dahil bibigyan din naman namin kayo ng mga giveaway codes. We will have 3 giveaway codes every single end of the game. At syempre, malaman na analysis every time na the post-match happens. Now, in this particular game, in this particular series na ang unang umabot sa threshold or sa match point ay ang side ng Omega. The next Execration, we know this team. Iba yung parang never say die attitude ng Execration. And I'm sure that all of the fans out there are still hoping na mapo-force nga nila ang game number 5. Tingnan natin nga lang, dahil balita ko sa panel ay nandun ang anak ni Ginoong Valdez. So hindi natin alam kung ano mangyari, but that's it for me from Wolf, the analyst, the solo analyst segment, at ipasa na natin sa match point analysis segment.
Wolf, maraming salamat. Back here at the panel, my name is Leo with Paolo Expert and of course, the heir to the Valdez estate. Chin, ano sabi ni Papa?
Hindi, actually kanina, nag-text na siya sa akin eh. Kanina nung patapos na yung game ng Execration tsaka Omega. Tapos ang sabi daw niya, okay lang daw na, ay, wait. Oh. Yes pa. Sige pa. Okay. Okay, sige. Sige, thank you pa. So ito na. Hindi, nagbago na yung isip niya. Okay lang daw sana kanina yung 3-1. Hindi na daw. Kailangan daw natin mag-game 5 talaga.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, mag-game 5 na daw talaga tayo.
Alright. So, yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, Ginoong Valdez's predictions or his requests were not given.
Hindi, actually, pinagbigyan naman, actually, mali lang daw pala ako.
Miscom.
Hindi ko
Okay.
daw naintindihan yung instruction
Oo.
niya.
You know what? I kind of want to hear how Ginoong Valdez talks. Kasi kung yung anak niya mismo hindi nakakaintindi minsan, then, I don't know, I'm just curious. But, kidding aside, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the panelist desk. Here's the desk. Let's talk about this matchup. Ito yung game 1. We already covered a little bit of this.
Yes.
But I think now seeing game 2 and 3, medyo may context na tayo. Meron ng narrative itong 3-game series na ito. At tama nga, sabi nga ni Wolf, ang unang umabot sa threshold, ang unang nagte-threaten ng elimination ay ang Omega. Lamang sila dito and they're looking to take away Execration's one last shot. Let's remember this. Yung unang pagkapanalo ng Omega. What was the key here again? Was it shutting down Hate?
It was shutting down Benny Cutie.
More Benny Cutie. There you go, man.
Yes.
More Benny Cutie on the choke.
Yes.
Alright, and I think because of this, napatanong ako, no? Sabi ng Black Eyed Peas, where is the love? Tayo, where is the hate? And I think in game number 2, that's where really hate showed
Right,
up.
also.
Yes.
And we'll be showing it here via the draft results. It's not necessarily because of hate, eh. Parang iba ang rason.
Iba ang rason.
For you?
Ang dahilan kung bakit nag-online si Hate kanina is yung confidence niya, yung aggressiveness niya, nagbago dahil sa Angela pick.
Oo.
Okay siyang mag-tower dive because of the Angela pick. Pagpapatay na siya, may shield na biglang maano sa'yo. Tapos extra movement speed pa and
Right.
sustain.
Yeah.
That's why he was so aggressive on game 2.
Which is not present here, no? Parang
No.
dito, medyo dapat independent ka, eh.
Oo. Nung
La-
game 1.
Lalo na't yung tank mo is back siya. It's not a setter.
Right,
You have to make your own place.
Yeah. So, Chin, do you agree? Is that the kind of thing that hate needed?
Well, yeah. Well, that was one. For me also, I think for me, it was the draft din. Kasi nga, very, ang titigas nung draft ng Execration eh. Tapos yung main damage nila would be the Ling nga, di ba? So, I was explaining to you guys kanina off-cam. Ako as a Ling user din, actually, at some point, naging Ling main din ako. Sabi ko, mahihirapan akong i-burst down yung heroes nila.
This game 2?
Yeah, nung game 2 with the Yuzong, the Roger, Alice, and yun nga, may Angela pa. So parang very, very hard sustain talaga. So it was looking very steep. And like Pao mentioned kanina, Angela activatable lahat ng
Yes,
heroes
lahat.
ng Execration.
Yes.
So na-maximize nila yung draft nila.
Even Chakno, the Chak Mamba came
Yeah.
back online, pero medyo iba itsura. I like that medyo may versatility dito si Chakno, at least in the playoffs. We're so used to him seeing, doing big ticket plays. Dito parang very reliable. Like,
Reliable.
papasok ako, okay, gusto mag-back out ni Hate, I got you. Pero kung papasok tayo, it's a siege, pwede rin.
Pressure in the front line.
Yeah.
Tama. For the early game for Execration here with the Angela pick, si Roger yung gumagawa most of the plays. It was Roger and Angela doing most of the plays. Pero sa late game yung Alice, no?
Yes.
Yung Alice, tas nag-ulti yung Angela sa kanya, ang hirap patayin.
Yeah.
Ang hirap patayin. Not to mention yung late game, pag inultihan rin yan ni Angela late game, it's so annoying. And yung Omega, kung titingnan mo yung draft nila, ano yung solid crowd control na mai offer nila?
Jawhead.
Only Jawhead. You cannot contain Roger, Alice, and Yuzhong with just Jawhead.
And you're running into Hylos.
Yes, napakahirap. Kaya I think actually Omega got outdrafted game number 2.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
But let's now look at game number 3 kasi game number 2, sabi nila, where is the hate? Nandito lang. Kasi si Eto Max nag-aabang. Right? Si Eto Max nag-aabang, si Chakno nag-aabang. And game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, it was a different story. It was somewhere in the middle na parang hate wasn't shut down. Benny Cutie did some things despite the watchful eye of Hayes. At I think here the draft, you'll see nasaan yung Natalia. Yan, nasa gitna yung Natalia dito. Omega win. But it was placed at the very last moment. And I think it has to be stated here, guys. I believe, I don't know if our analysts believe and agree, you never pick Natalia super early.
Yun yung one of the biggest mistakes common mistakes na ginagawa ng ibang team. Sino-show nila yung Natalia kagad. Whereas Omega, they drafted this last pick.
Last pick Natalia
Di
sila.
talaga expected to. But since Exe kind of just shot themselves in the foot with the 1-1 pick, napakahirap mag 1-1 dito. At tatanungin ng viewers kung bakit. Bakit? Baxia, pag inultihan ng 1-1 si Baxia, yung ulti niya may damage reduction. Okay? So it's really hard to reset the 1-1 ulti when Baxia ultis.
I mean, you'll trigger it as soon as you can.
Yes.
Pag natalo or pag na-target mo, crossbow of Tang, yung back sa sayang.
Sayang. Also with the Tamus, napaka-tanky ni Tamus. He's like a semi-tank. I would consider him a semi-tank hero. Si Natalia may immune, right? With the smoke.
Yep.
Siling naman, pag inultihan ni 1-1 Siling, mag-ulti lang yan. Wala nang 1-1 ulti. The only good part here is 1-1 is good against Changi, I guess. Pag nahuli niya si Changi, sure. But Changi is most likely in the back line, which is super hard to reach.
May isa pa ako na note dito. It's in the same draft. The very last ban for Omega was awesome. It was the Claude.
Claude.
No? And that was for Benny Cutie. Kasi
Yes.
inisip nila na, okay, it looks like they want to give Benny Cutie a core, a secondary core. Nakita nila yon. So they forced the 1-1. Pero may ginawa yung execration sa ban nila.
Yeah.
Which could have been a hero that they needed, right?
Yeah, they banned the Angela, which
Which
again,
they could have
shot
used
themselves in the
on the Roger and the Yuzhong again.
Yeah.
Sayang yung ban nila.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, fun fact, Hajizi has officially reached the 200 kills milestone and is also the first to do so. So, in the whole of the history of MPL, siya lang ang naka 200 kills so far. So, congratulations to this young man, Hajizi. 200 kills!
That's a lot of kills in professional play. Out of how many matches, though? I don't know.
And to be fair, Hajizi has been here for at least maybe more than half of the MPL's history in the Philippines. I think, hindi ko alam kung nag-change name na ba siya or he's been with other teams prior to Season 4. But, yeah, congratulations. 200 kills.
That's a lot.
Get a cake, tapos lagyan mo 200.
I actually thought Carl Tizzy was gonna get 200 first. I guess,
Oo nga.
guess not. Siya yung nauna sa 100, di ba? Si Carl. And then now Haji got 200 first.
Nag-uunahan sila. And, fun fact, at some point, Hajizi and Carl Tizzy were the same team. So,
Tama.
parang itong Omega, parang carry factory. It's like they're really good at making fundamentally sound players and then just letting them do their thing.
Feeling ko, by tomorrow, baka mag-change name na ako. Ako na si Chinese. Feeling ko, dadami na rin yung kills ko pag
That's the thing. Actually, you know what? We'll have to ask Flap how that's working for him. Saan mo gawin, right? But we'll be seeing more of Flap and Carl later on in the second series of the night. But for now, babalik tayo. It's game number 4 here in this best of 5. Will Omega finally take out Execration, or will there be one more shot for Exe Shot? Balik na tayo to game number 4.
Thank you so much, Leo, the panelist. Very well put. Will Execration have another shot, or will this be it? Let's have to find out as we head to game 4 here in this best of 5 series. I'm gonna be casters. We're gonna be casters. I am Rockhart. I'm gonna do this by myself, man. I'm your analyst, your anchor Rockhart. Your analyst Butters right here. Let's get into the game soon enough. And I just want to point out that it's not I think the first guy to 100 points, 100 kills, is
Drix. Yeah.
and it's just they're not gonna be joining us on the playoffs. But yeah, he was the first one 100. Congratulations to Hajizi for the first one, the 200. And you know what? The reason why I think Carl TZ is left behind a little bit is because
Why?
the games yesterday was 3-0.
Yeah.
Right?
The games take well, the games that Omega had here in the playoffs is 100% more than what Bren went through.
Exactly. At this point,
So
double the games. Yeah.
5 games, the 5 starting games here, and automatically they are at 8 games. Now, if ever it ends to the next game, then that only means that Bren won't really have the same amount of games, even if they went to game number 5.
Exactly.
So they have a maximum of
it's-
8 later.
It's probably a reason why.
Yeah.
Carl TZ is probably close to 200 as well.
Yeah.
Right. But it just so happens. So,
Especially with the Savage yesterday.
with the Savage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. On that Lancelot. If you guys didn't watch that, you really should. But for now, we are on the draft for Omega versus Execration. And I think the panel put out a lot of the points that we mentioned as well. And you said this after the match ended. You said, what is going on with the pick of the 1-1, even though there are so many
Yeah.
heroes that can dodge it or that can nullify it. And in that game, we saw it happened.
Like if they didn't go for 1-1 and they went for a Khaled or something, that could have been an early game setup for Execution, which they actually excel at. But at that point on, the Ling, the 1-1 is good. 1-1 is still a good pick on my part. But still, if there's a Ling and Natalia that you didn't ban, sometimes those are the kinds of picks where you shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, literally. Like, I think if you're a 1-1, you shoot it and nothing happens. But if you shoot yourself in the foot, that's gonna hurt. So, we are in the ban phase, and very similar heroes getting banned out. Ling, though, apparently is a bit of a headache for Execration to deal with. That will be on the chopping board for this one, and I'm starting to think that the carries might be next targets here for the picks. I think we're gonna have a very early carry pick in this matchup.
Let's see how these players just deal with certain heroes that they both have. And I mean, Execration here just being very preemptive into just preventing whatever Link shenanigans Omega has up their sleeves. They still just ban out the Link straight up. Now Uranus is still there. Barats will be banned here for the side of Omega because they think that Barats isn't really a first pick material.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have left the Barats alone if they wanted to.
yeah, and for me, it's very few teams have had a good Barats game, right? I
Bren
think
had one.
Bren. That's not even good. That's a perfect Barats game. It was a 5-0 something for Rebo.
Yeah.
It was exactly the way you would play a Barats. And after that, other than Bren, like very few teams have had success with it. But it's still a very powerful pick, even played incorrectly. So I completely understand the banning here. Now, Esmeralda has been, I think, in this matchup, never been even left open. And it's absolutely fine. Selena, though.
Oh my goodness!
This is it.
They get the Selena the worst possible time for the side of Execration, and that's because you just banned out the Ling. I mean, the Ling, you dealt with that earlier.
It was okay. That was the right thing to do. I mean,
You dealt with that earlier.
Oh,
you
boy.
had the upper hand against that Ling, but against the Selena, you guys just fell down. You guys just imploded in game number 1 where they got the Selena. So Execration picked. I think they didn't pick the lesser evil here.
yeah, it's super sad now that we're gonna see Selena going out. It's like, oh my god, we're close to the end. This is scary. This is very, very scary right now for Execration. Now, what's gonna be counter here? They need a strong opening, and they get that
That's-
Roger. That's the opening that we want.
That's fair.
For these
That is strong.
Alright.
That's a fair move coming from Execration. They got the Roger. I mean, that is one of the heroes where Hate actually excels at. It could be a side lane Roger, for all we know.
That is a good point. That is a very good point. And
Oh my.
Your team is picking.
Oh my goodness, the poke game.
I remember this lineup.
Get the Khaled right now. Get a Khaled. Just get someone who has force engage for the side of execution.
Just we need to fight early on.
You
Oh
need to
my
force the
gosh.
engagements. You need to put them in their place. You need to be the ones who start the fight. Kufra and Alice are out, so that means you are limit to getting a Khaled. What? A Hylos.
I've seen this lineup before. It is a very it's the lineup that you use when you want to finish early. Maximum vision and maximum range. I mean, if this had a Diggy, this would be a Diggy feeding strat, but it's not. It's not gonna be the thing, obviously. But it's like the half. It's like the recipe.
Okay.
Team is banning.
And there you go. They have the anti. They have the counter to the
But
vision.
that means they also have another late game setup.
Super duper late game set.
I mean, it depends on how good the laning stage comes out for them. But seeing the trend of this fight, Execration, they do not have that certain liberty just because Omega is really aggressive when it comes to these kinds of things. Well, I do agree that in terms of Omega here, they need to scale up the Yi and Shin. But as long as the other players are moving on the side of Omega, this is going to be hard for the side of Execration. I'm not saying that this is set in stone, but I feel that this is going to be a side lane Roger already.
Absolutely. They will need to. They'll go for the jungler super farm Helgert and throw Roger and the Fams on the side lane. That is almost exactly what they'll do, and this is going to be telegraphed straight into the minds of Omega in this draft. And they will need, and knowing Omega, they'll know how to adjust to this. Oh my gosh, this is a
This is a tough one. This is a tough setup.
Yeah, for sure. Again, Execration, they'll need that X factor. They need the miracle play to make an advance here. They need to win in the early if they want this to at least equalize. I mean, equal is what I'm going for here if I was Execration. It's impossible to beat these kinds of heroes at the early game. Selena and the Farsa? Are you kidding? And even with after the Mountain Shocker goes online, that's just so many things you have to deal with.
Is banning.
This is really interesting coming out on the side of
Your team is
Execration on how
Wait,
will
what are the
they
bans?
formulate here.
I think we might have we'll try to get some info on what these bands are.
Yeah,
Or
let's
we
see
went
that
straight
in a
to
bit.
picking. Yeah, we'll see that in a bit. Don't worry. Questions to be answered. We'll still need a good tank here for Omega. Someone to front for very well. Kufra is out of the question. No more Akai as well means that they might be pushed into something like an Atlas or a Hylos.
Okay,
which-
so right now Execration is just ensuring that their Hellcurt have a good game.
for sure.
They want this to just happen.
Yeah.
And Hilda
your team is
will be picked here onto the side of Execration. It's going to be Hilda.
That's a very scrappy fight. That's a very
Yeah.
scrappy fight here.
And I like the aggressiveness. I like the stalling capabilities. And I like that they have this level 1 hero that
Right.
can just, take people out early on.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think Hilda is for the side of Execration. It makes sense that they get the Hilda.
Or Omega can also kind of work with it, What
Let's
do we
see how will Omega answer, though. Time is running out. Let's try to hear the audio cue.
Depending on the cue.
Jawhead.
It's going to be the Jawhead.
Alright. Either way, that's going to be fine for me.
Jawhead and probably Yuzhong.
Yeah, I think that's that's probably Yuzhong. No,
That's probably Yuzhong for Omega. It could be a Khaled
either
or
Yuzhong
Yuzhong.
or Khaled, yes.
But it makes more sense if you get the Yuzhong.
Alright, that's fine. We're
I mean-
absolutely...
I mean, why does it make more sense to have a Yuzhong or a Khaled? Because if you can see, 4 of the heroes here on the side of execution are melee heroes. Now, if you're melee heroes, then that means you're gonna hug out Yuzhong, or you're gonna hug out Yuzhong, or you're gonna hug out Khalid, and they like that.
Yeah. So execution is gonna that's probably a low Yi.
Yeah,
Probably no audio means low Yi.
that could be a Louis.
They need the range. I was thinking either Chang'e, probably, or Lo Yi is definitely going to be the pick here. So, wonder if that got locked in. We'll find out, I guess, when we get into the game and the teams are ready. Well, let's just wait for the game to load itself, and let's find out.
Okay, so we were right. That's going to be the Yuzhong. Not really the Lu Yi.
Yeah, Yu Zhong.
Not really the Lu Yi for the side of execration, but because Lu Yi was the last one to get banned. It was a Lu Yi
Yes.
and Angela.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I'm trying to get a bit of a aspect of the side of execration.
Yeah, front line of Omega will be that Jawhead and that Yu Zhong. And one more, Khalid. I'm thinking Khalid might be the pick. If that was the last guy.